Welcome back. It's day number 8,473 of working on this Jeep. Seems like it. I have slid the thing over. I'll show you what we're doing here in a minute. We are sanding and polishing our paint job, and I have pretty much finished up with the passenger side. So we're about ready to get started on the driver's side. So let's do that, shall we? Just a quick update here. It's about time to hang it up for the night, but you can kind of see these areas that are still a little bit of orange peel still showing, like right in this area right here. This area next to it is pretty much down to a single layer. So that's done. I'm not going to sand any more of that with the 1500 grit. I'll do a little layer of 2000, but this area around the corner here along the bottom needs a little more work yet. And again, as we come up here on top of the fender, this area is in pretty good shape. A few little odds and ends here. Same, you can kind of see as you go, once it dries, you can start to see what you got here, and you can see the little places that still need a little work and the places that are starting to come around pretty well. So like right here, we don't see hardly any remains of orange peel divots. So yeah, not so bad. That's where we're going to leave it for tonight. It's a weeknight coming up. Well, tomorrow's a weekday. Got to go to work, so I got to kind of wrap this up, shove everything back over, get the car in the garage because it's in the 20s out there, and I don't want to be freezing my butt off when I go to work in the morning. So that's where I'm going to leave it for tonight. All right, let us check in on the progress of yonder Jeep, shall we? So I've been making another final kind of pass with 1500. I just wiped everything down with a kind of a damp cloth. I'm mostly waiting for it to dry now. You can kind of see as it dries, it takes on that kind of whitish looking, dusty covered look. And that kind of, while it looks nasty, gives me a way to kind of see how we're looking. So I think I'm about done with sanding with the 1500 grit in most of these places, because the heavier amount of orange peel is pretty much gone. And now what we don't want to do is we don't want to inject any 1500 grit scratches into our clear coat that we're going to have to then buff out. So I'm going to switch over to some 2000 grit and make another pass across the stuff I just did. Yesterday I worked this over pretty hard. Then today I came out, and I've only been out here about half an hour, and I covered this whole, from the center all the way around to the front of the driver's side fender. So yeah, I think I'm at a spot where it's time to upgrade to the finer stuff, which we should see less of the clear coat goo coming off and more of us just getting a nice dull, which is counterintuitive, but we're trying to make the whole thing dull now. After we made the whole thing shiny, we're making that clear coat dull with no little shiny spots, because the shiny spots are, again, those low spots in our orange peel where a splash of orange peel or of clear coat didn't fill in, next to its neighbor. So now we'll just kind of do a pass with the 2000 grit, get everything kind of finely tuned, and then back to our buffer. So good progress. I'm going to spend about 1 more hour out here tonight. I have my phone over there running a timer because I've got some other stuff I got to do tonight. And so I'm only going to get about another hour on this. I'm going to shove it back over and make room for the car to come back inside. So I'll give you a quick update when I'm at that point. Well, it occurs to me as I get ready to head inside that I said I was going to give you an update before I went in for the night, and I completely forgot. So I already shoved everything over. The Jeep is back in the position where the car can get parked in here. I have been all the way around with 2000 grit. I've wiped everything down, cleaned it off. We'll now let it dry, see how it looks. But I believe the next pass will be with my wool pad. I'm going to take my wool pad and all my microfiber cloths and all that stuff in and toss them in the washing machine and give them a good wash before I start on the buffing, because they're, it's done half the Jeep already. Probably be a good idea to clean them. So that's where we're leaving it for tonight. I'm going to go do some laundry and eat some dinner. Okay, well, normally I would be wrapping up the Jeep standing in the garage, but I got in a bit of a hurry and I wanted to get out of town and get back up to Seattle for several reasons. One being the weather. It looked like I had a pretty good break in the weather for one day, being today, Sunday. So I headed to Seattle and left the Jeep where it is. So it's currently, we're working on that 3rd round of painting and clear coating, and I'm pretty happy with how it looks right now. So I've got some buffing to do. I've been all around with 1500 grit on everything, up to 2000 grit on everything. That's the highest grit of sandpaper I have. I've cleaned up all my buffing, wool buffing wheel and so forth, and I'm ready to get started on the buffing process again. So when I return, that's what we'll be doing. But for now, I ain't going anywhere and not doing anything Jeep related or boat related, because I'm sitting on the side of the highway waiting for Interstate 84 to open up again.